Boston in a Waymo tonight. Got no pants or drawers on, feeling just right. Wore a special outfit for the camera to see. Stetson hat, business socks, Kanye and Swazi tee. Backseat outlaw, ankles reach for the sky. Staring straight at the dash cam, into the Chinaman's eyes. You're welcome for my service. Freedom don't wear pants. It's a one-man parade, making love to his hand. With a tip of the hat, gave the commies a view. Said, tell Terry Ping, this one's for you. South Congress gasped, old milk spills in the street. Dash cams having flashbacks, it can't delete. Feet on the headrest, spread like an eagle's wings. 4th of July fireworks, American things. So here's to the future, self-driving and clean. You're welcome for the content, best y'all ever seen. Time to easy up. Welcome for my service, sons and daughters of the free. One bare-ass rebel, keep it watch so you can be. Let them know this cowboy is still raising Cain. With my Johnson in my hand, America in my veins. Sense of the feed, blur the screen. Whatever you got, you still saw American balls, and they're burning hot from Austin to the Great Firewall. Every algorithm's pregnant now, y'all. You're welcome for my service. No trousers, no surrender, just a stiff Texan stand. Left a Lone Star review on communist land. Tell your boss in Beijing, howdy from the free. And to answer his next question, yes, it's a Kanye Swazi T. 5-star review, 5-star salute. Freedom don't knock, freedom shoot. Oh, you come and Derp with Kurp.
Wow, what a banger of a track, and what a long time it took to get that set up. Almost a complete waste of time. Some would say, not me. That's gonna be a hit. That song, Toby Jesus. All right, Mark can hear me, but he can't speak. It's I don't know, new Patouche rules. What's going on with him? But I'm gonna have him bring in my guest, Neil from Gnostic Informant. Gnostic Neil, come on in. I'm still reeling from that Patreon. If you don't think that this is a Patriot show, I mean, how much time did it take to make sure the story of that man jerking off in a Waymo could be seen for 3 full minutes before we even start anything?
It had to be in. We weren't going to start unless we had that video.
No, not with our boys in Iran right now. No, right. Siree.
They need that.
We're back here backing them up. Toby Jesus.
Toby Jesus. I love the name too.
Well, it's DeJesus, but he's playing his Mexican roots down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
He goes by, it's for country. It's
trying to be more palatable to the American and Israeli crowd.
Yeah, his name is Toblerone DeJesus. It's not that.
Yeah, no one likes
that's
that.
Not patriotic at all.
No. That's not going to sell.
European hotel chocolate and not, yeah.
It ain't going to work.
The guy rules.
Yeah.
And I know the black pillars out there are going to say I just made that, like, as usual, but don't bother me. Doesn't bother me, Neil. I over here you're trying to thrive and back support Israel. All right. So Neil, as many of you know, is something of an expert in ancient Sumer and other places where
Sumer.
They worship buttholes and such. So I thought
Phalluses and buttholes.
you like, hey, I mean, you've heard of cock worship online, right? Well, yeah, it's got nothing on some of these societies based on it.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
how what like the Washington Monument? That would you say that counts as cock worship, or is that the worship?
It's a phallic. I mean, even there's writers from antiquity who talk about the Egyptian obelisk being the phallus of Osiris.
Yeah, right. So why do we have Osiris's dick on our lawn? Is that just like a hood ornament of America?
It's just basically saying we're rock hard, ready to go, ready to take shit over.
Real okay, because I know there's a genuine in mainstream, and I know you're nothing if not a mainstream archaeologist, but isn't it like to say we've inherited that? Like we inherited their Osiris dick. That's our dick now. Is
I think the aristocracy of even pre-United States, like the colonies thought that this was the inherited power of the Roman Empire. You have the Roman Empire, and then you have the Holy Roman Empire. And the West always thought, oh, those Eastern Byzantine Greeks, that's they always thought that the Latin West, we have a Latin alphabet, even though we speak English.
Right.
They always thought the Latin West was the real Rome. So we think, from looking at
I
history,
always think that, honestly, and it's totally not correct, but the entire time after where there's like a Byzantine Rome, I'm like, is that even Rome, really?
That's a very Western perspective on it, because they call themselves the Romans. They didn't even call themselves Byzantines or Greeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know. I like that. That's some othering language to separate them.
Yeah,
like, make it up Judeo-Christian.
And when the Roman Empire fell in 476, I mean, it fell. It didn't really fall. It just was like stopped being. It was already on a pulse, barely a pulse. The Eastern Romans were still going. Like they continued all the way until 1453. So right. They thought they were the Romans. So we're like really. Byzantines.
Yeah.
But anyways, to answer your question, yeah, I think the people who the colonists, whether it be the English, the Spanish, or even the French or whatever, the Germans too, the Dutch were here, they thought this was going to be the expansion of Rome. Like this was like we're still in that mindset in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a great history of Rome, and who wouldn't want to continue the history of the country that killed Jesus? So
right.
Well, okay, so but Rome itself, I mean, thought they were inheriting all the other things, right? I mean, even
no, that's a really good point. Is that when you read the historians of the time, they actually they look back at like King Cyrus being in ruling in Babylon, being the king who took over from the Babylonians, like Nebuchadnezzar.
He's the first Messiah, right?
Sargon, and then going all the way back, and then there was like this idea of Babylon, the throne, and that this idea of Babylon gets transferred over to the West.
Finally,
through the Greeks, through Alexander and the Macedonians, and then the Romans end up conquering the Macedonians. So when the Romans conquered the Macedonians in the 200s or in the 100s BC, they thought they were the new kings of the world. They were the new, and they were,
kind of.
And they were the hegemon of the entire Mediterranean and beyond.
But they hadn't really made it to China, had they?
No, that's just in their perspective, in their little perspective, the little flat Earth. Perspective.
Were they flat Earth? They weren't flat Earth, were they?
No, I'm just saying, like they thought that they were the center of it all. But you're right. They didn't. Flat Earth was already debunked by then by Eratosthenes, who measured two shadows of obelisk, actually, two palaces.
Dude, you just need two dick measurements.
Yeah, you just did a dick measurement. You figure out the Earth isn't flat.
Look, there's a reason that things are based on dick so much, and I say it as a joke, but clearly there is. It's really the compass by which
you showed me that image of the goddess riding the rooster.
Oh, and I forgot about that.
Yeah. But anyways, like they thought that they were the center of everything. They didn't know about they didn't know about the Mayans living all the way across the world. They didn't know about that, and that would have been interesting to see what would have happened if the Romans collided with whoever the hell, I think it was the Incas.
I thought
or
there was
Mayans.
some story of an Egyptian pharaoh that split and went to supposedly in the direction of South America, and then And he's like, yeah, we don't know. The guy took all these ships. He split. We ain't heard from him. I don't know if he's coming back. Whatever.
Yeah, there's some people who think that the Egyptians were the ones who founded the Americas. I don't know. It looks like they look like more like Pacific Islanders to me. The way their art is, the way they're, and especially their DNA and the way they look.
Well, what would that even be? Toltecs or something? It wouldn't be, or Tolmecs, or it wouldn't be. What are the ones? The old ones that were.
Oh, the Olmecs you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Those old mechs.
Olmecs.
I'm trying.
Yeah. I think they came over from the Pacific.
Yeah, right. Well, they're very cannibalistic. I think that's really. I think that's really
rip your heart out.
Yeah, but and I got that dude's book on audio, but on audio it sucks because some AI is reading it. Like there's no audible effort put in whatsoever.
I hate that.
But I was just curious, so I had the credit, Craig Lunt or something. Anyway, but interesting. I didn't know about this about Hawaii and all these other places' proud history of baby eating. I had no idea because there's not a lot of a lot of this stuff is post Captain Cook. It's the most diverse place. If you ever go, like Kauai or something's gorgeous, and it's the most biodiverse in terms of plants on the planet. Wild. So in the mountains or like in the volcano, there's cactuses and shit. It has like every possible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and anyway, but so they didn't have all this shit. I guess there were noni birds that had gone extinct, but there's a lot of martial cannibalism and winning to eat somebody to get your protein because you can't be that big. Like you're not going to get jacked like that from a vegan diet. That's just not a thing.
No, and the Carthaginians in the 200s BCE were doing that too. They were sacrificing children to it's called the Molech sacrifice, but it was to the god who is known as Baal Hamon.
Yeah,
who was
right.
The leader of their pantheon, and they actually get their ideas. You can trace back the idea of the human sacrifice ritual to Babylon. We're talking about Babylon, and in Babylon, and all this is ubiquitous in Assyrian sources, Sumerian sources, and Babylonian sources. We're talking Copper Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, all the way up until this, the end of the Babylonians and Syrian empires. They were doing what was called the mock king ritual. And the word Molech, Molech in Hebrew, the word Molech in Hebrew is MLK, which is Melech, means king.
So that's why it coincides with Martin Luther King so much too, because you're doing the mock king ritual.
Dude, if you want to call him a king, then he might have been a human. He might have been some secret, deep, esoteric human sacrifice.
Well, he's
ritual.
Boule. Look, Martin Luther King's Boule. I mean, I'm not telling people they're bad, but he was part of that Black Boule. It's a frat. Okay.
Yeah, he might have been a sacrifice. Is what I'm getting at. Because
MLK and his name's Mo. I mean, like, I used to be like that.
Do you want to know what the ritual was, though? So what the ritual was they would have these diviners, and they were like these mystics that would like read the stars, and they would look for shooting stars, and they would read astrological signs, and they would see birds fly by,
like the Magi finding Jesus. Yeah,
it'd be omens, right? Stars, all that stuff. So when they would get bad omens. And they would tell the king of Babylon, we just got a bad omen. We need to do something about this. And one of the ways to get around it was to choose somebody from the lower echelons of society, preferably a virgin. So that's child. Virgins are child.
Yeah, right.
To me, so child sacrifice.
That's such a strong point that I often forget to make. But the way it's framed is so. A virgin means a kid. That means pre-puberty, because post-puberty you're married or you're
you're going out doing shit, right? So it's most likely a child, but we know for sure virgin. So we could debate on that. That's fine. But the point is, they would take this person, this child, and they would dress them up like a king, throw purple on them, put a crown on them, and they would even let them rule.
The boy king, yeah.
And they would have the actual king go into a fake what do you call it when you get kicked out of society? Exile. He'd go into a fake exile, but he would just go to the next city over and live in whatever.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
Fake exile, and they would have the fake king be king for like a week until good omens come back.
Okay, this is really fascinating. But so who's in on this? The whole society they're doing a play?
They're
But the,
so
just the kid doesn't know, or do
the
some,
kid doesn't know because why would they do it unless they
the
knew and they
whole
just went along
society
with it.
plays a trick on this one person?
I think it's the aristocracy. It's the higher levels of society who
Would
know
the
this.
peasants also
The
know,
peasants don't know about this.
but they must know if we do this all the time.
Yeah,
They must
probably
know.
had some sharper people picking up on
Oh,
this
you're
stuff.
right.
Going,
You know
wait
what?
a minute,
You're right. It's gonna
another
be-
exile, another person just got anointed
Dude,
as king.
you're absolutely right. It's going to be
Yeah.
exactly how it is now.
Exactly how
Where
it is
you
now.
got half the people going, I don't even
Yeah.
think there was an Epstein blackmail operation.
Yeah, I think this new king's pretty good. What do you think? This new virgin king.
Yeah,
What do you
dude.
think?
Of course, it would be. What I mean, since they sacrifice virgins now for their jerky, of course that's how it works. How okay, great, good point. Thank you.
Yeah, and now you have, and that's another thing. So this gets into Christianity a little bit because Jesus is dressed up as a mock king. They throw purple on him.
They do
throw
a
a crown of
Molech
thorns on him.
sacrifice of him. That's
And
right.
guess what they do? They eat his flesh and drink his blood, wine and bread, grape
Right.
juice and pizza.
Right.
Dude,
Right.
what? There might be some. I'm just like, I'm just trying to throw connections out there right now.
No,
But
dude,
anyways-
I think that's a real close dart throw.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
think
dead
so.
center. You probably scored a good 20. I don't know how dart scores work, but pretty close. I bet.
I think so. I think I think the elites, the super duper duper elites who we don't even know what they're into. I think they think that they are the Babylon of today. They are the ruling.
course.
Yeah.
They've been
And
told
they're
it by
and they're
parents.
going to follow the ritual. They're going to follow the same ritual.
And seeing is believing. If you've been bred your whole life to be someone that's part of this, I always wonder, like, what are these, like, is it a race or religion arguments? Because, and it's not just Judaism, there's all these little sects of things that it becomes an ethnic, like, let's say you're a white nationalist or something or whatever, where you're trying to fuse the religio with your fucking flesh and your DNA. There's like this real like intense impulse to
Shit
that.
gets weird when you try that.
Yeah, and it's like doing stuff. It's like trying to. But anyway, the point is, you can inbred. I bet you can inbreed certain beliefs or dispositions to beliefs into people 100%. The same way they do with epigenetics when they would do that trauma programming. Generationally abusive families dissociate better, right? So I'm sure there's people that are born it doesn't have to be so all DNA. It's language is going to predisposition you, right? Like if I'm born somewhere Arabic and I hear, what sounds to me like the worst music I've ever heard in my life, but there it's going to be a totally different thing to my ear to hear just like whiny morning prayer. I'm like, oh, that's the sweet, sweet musical nectar to me. You know what I mean? The epigenetics is all pressures at all the same time. And I'll bet they're trying to breed people to be more apt. So that way, it seems like the ultimate goal is to get you to do this without telling you that you are doing it. Like, let's say you're really shitty and you want to be in on it. I want to be in the Illuminati or whatever. I don't know. I'll do anything. Okay. But they are like, they look at you, a person who'd want to be a member, like, we don't want this idiot in our fucking thing. We want them to do stuff, but things go wrong with these Igors. So wouldn't it be better to have one that don't know they're my Igor and like
Right.
trick them? And then that's where that, I don't know, king for a day thing. You're right.
I think you're right. I think there's ways to socially pressure people into doing things that they think they're doing on their own will, but they really
that's
are
the magic. That's the
they're
real
really
magic.
just following along with the social pressures, and that's just how any given time period, any given location, any given civilization, there's always these social pressures that people aren't even aware of.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons I'm the worst is because if I smell that someone is saying a thing and it's the social pressure and not something they think. If it's just me and you talking, right? And you're like telling me some social pressure talk, and I'm like, dude, I mean, it's just us here. You don't gotta do that bullshit you just fucking did. Like that, I don't know. Something gets at me about it. And some people don't ever want to be questioned like that. I mean, even if you're inclined towards it, which I am. I remember how Patrice used to be. This motherfucker would interrogate the way you said hello to him. He would interrogate that. It was slightly insincere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like it's a real emotional tax on people to have their and the more you want to be on autopilot and someone's snapping your attention to where they're at, they'll get real resentful,
Yeah.
So like it's very trying.
There's a funny thing about that what you just said, because the people who are like the complete, we would call them sheep or whatever. We laugh at them. They're like, they're totally just like, they're like watching The Masked Singer every night.
K-pop fans.
They show up 5 minutes early to work every day. They listen to K-pop. And
I don't laugh at them.
They're into the new thing that's online. They're doing all the and they're completely wired in. Those are the most happiest people ever. Believe it or weirdly, they're like
Are they?
People, yeah, because people like us who are like questioning shit, it's depressing, dude. It's a heavy burden
I like
to be questioning things going on in the world. It sucks.
No, I think it sucks.
No, I prefer it. I prefer that burden over being drugged up on whatever the hell's going on with Karen over there.
Well,
but you got to admit, Karen's having a good old time with her wine and all that stuff every night. You know?
Are you talking about a specific person? Or you mean the racist sense of the word Karen?
I'm talking about the type of people who are completely wired into the
normies. They call them normies. In the kids' talk, you know.
And we poke fun at them and say they're a bunch of sheep, they're a bunch of idiots, but they're always happy though.
Listen,
you know?
If you love some music I hate, that's one thing. Okay, where I'm not gonna. I mean, unless it's like really terrible, I feel like it's really just your taste, right? But if it's a thing where you're like, I don't think it's a big deal to murder a bunch of kids and eat them. Then I will make fun of you. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. But I think the normies think that's not happening. The normies are like, that's not happening. You're crazy.
Well, dude, I went and saw. Did you see a movie? Have fun, don't die. Something. Good luck.
Yeah. With Leonardo DiCaprio?
No, with Sam Rockwell.
No, I didn't see it.
It's pretty good, but also like it's worth seeing for sure. It's 100% worth seeing. And I don't want to spoil anything about it, but they really do get into some interesting things, especially in the beginning. I'll tell you some really interesting shit in it, where the guy's teaching class and he's like, and the one girl's like, I need to get a Pepsi. Can I get a Pepsi? I need a Pepsi or something. I'm thirsty. And he goes, why do you keep saying Pepsi? And then somebody goes, well, it's some juice he needs, and dude, he goes, basically kids are saying commercials like they're so many kids. This is like a plot point of it that is actually I think it's fucking hysterical, and like they're hitting something, I don't know what, but they're hitting something. All these families, their kids have been killed in school shootings. Like, it's that common.
Damn.
Oh, now there's a company who will clone a kid for you. It's not exactly the same. You do like a survey to like make the kid, and it's a clone. And like they also have to say some ads. Like they'll be like, I need Pepsi. The government pays for it. It's real. So this is like a real
it's like a Black Mirror episode that I saw.
Yeah, I wanted to. It's too late now, but I want to make a thing. I know who was I fucking talking to. His name will come to me, but I want to call it self checkout, and it was
That's coming, I think.
No. I mean self checkout, like at the store where you got to ring your own groceries.
Yeah.
I'm the most angry about that. No, okay, so it would be you can rent. So you see this guy who's in his like whatever gamer goon cave, whatever cool is like a cool setup, right?
Yeah.
And his doorbell is getting rung. And he's like, what the fuck? And he hits his screen. He sees a lady like, sir. Okay. And so he has to answer like the door, so to speak. And it cuts to him and he's checking out groceries. Okay. And the lady hits his like doorbell because he's in his head playing video games while his body is doing a job.
What?
Yeah. There's a version kind of like this, I think. I don't really understand that show. I haven't watched it, but it probably is hitting this, that one with Ben Stiller on it, directs. Anyway, so the guy, and then like he has a date, and then so it's like the girl is all in your head, dude, because you're getting Wi-Fi connection, right? He has like an uncle who's telling him don't do that and all that, kind of shit. And then like if somebody comes over to your headspace, and the girl's tits are censored, you have to pay to like uncover, like to hook up in this thing, right? And meanwhile, your body they're allowed to use for whatever. So he thinks he works at a grocery store, but they're using his body in all kinds of horrible ways. He finds out later because he'd self-checkout. And I thought of it because all these friends of mine that would meditate for a long time. And I'm like, is that good? I mean, like, is that good for you? Like, I pray to the creator of the universe. Is that what you mean? It don't take me hours and hours, and I don't leave my body while I do it. Should I be leaving my body? I feel like someone's going to jack me.
Yeah. That is some interesting stuff. The deep meditation where people like have out of body experiences. But but what you were saying before, I think that's all coming. Like people, like some sort of advertising in our minds somehow.
Yeah, dude, they did it. Well, okay, first of all, it happened. People were having dreams about brands that McDonald, dude. Fuck, look it up online, dude. It's Popular Mechanics. Eric Hecker talked about it a long time ago and reminded me I had forgotten. They can beam fucking ads into your dreams. That's a thing that McDonald's was talking about in 2018, dude. Okay, so some people had dreams. In fact, they made a Nicolas Cage movie where people saw the guy in their dreams. It came out around that time. That's inspired by a real thing. Yeah. I think they stopped doing it, but I don't think they did. I think they could I think if they can inception you in your dreams with ads, sure.
I mean, the psychological aspect of advertising in the ancient world, that would be just considered doing magic.
Yeah, right.
You're trying to get someone. You're trying to infect, disrupt somebody's will. You're trying to get them to do something that they weren't necessarily going to do. That's magic.
I've become the dungeon master of the dungeon I put you in. I got to get you to like roll your character and make up shit about yourself, and then I got to make adventures for you to get into.
Yep.
Right. That's the game master. That's L. Ron Hubbard. There's the pieces who don't know they're the pieces, so that's a key. You don't know you're the piece of a game. The players who are like, I guess like they don't understand there's a game and the game master doesn't have to follow any rules, just the players and the game pieces. So who are the game masters, right? Whoever's creating. That's what was on Epstein's chalkboard.
Yeah.
How to make a great Dungeons & Dragons for people's life.
Did you see the one? Okay, so I was skeptical about the pizza and stuff for a while until I saw the one email that said from Epstein to Dr. Fish. That's the guy's name. And he said, he said, make sure you take your erectile dysfunction pills, and then we can go out and get pizza and grape juice. And when I saw that one, I was like, all right, now
you ever fucked pizza before?
These
room temperature, not out of the oven.
These people got a point now. And that doesn't make any sense. What the hell is it? Why would you say that to somebody in the email?
Did you not know this? So I'm going on Ben Swan later at 7 today, actually. I don't know. The guy Ben Swan is the Pizzagate reporter from the local news who did real reporting on it at the time with nothing. Like you hear like wild.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay, well, he got his life fucked with completely for doing this reporting. But if you watch what he reported, all he's going off of is what the FBI says and showing nothing else beyond that. So he's a real just the facts guy. Got big.
Yeah.
So the way he learned that what pizza means is because when Hillary's emails were hacked and all that stuff started, on 4chan, regular, not politically connected, working class Joe pedos, PDF files, okay, went, hey, you see how much they say pizza? Do they know our code? It was
really
yes, it was the home journalism of working class PDF files. I swear to God. So Ben Swan was on 4chan looking at stuff, and he saw that, and he contacted. And so that's how he found this out. And then the FBI, they found the FBI thing that says the symbology, which is all over that shit. Yeah. So I already knew it wasn't bullshit because, and I'll say this story again as much as possible. When I heard that Breitbart tweeting that Podesta's a child trafficker, do you know that? Andrew Breitbart was tweeting that back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then
I didn't know that.
His murder was nuts, dude.
Well, okay, he had a heart attack at age 40, and
then do you know what happened with his autopsy?
No.
Did you know? You didn't know that Andrew Breitbart's autopsy doctor was killed during the autopsy?
Mid-autopsy.
Look it up. I might be wrong about the details. I'm like, it's fuzzy. It's been a long time. Look up Andrew Breitbart's autopsy right now. I'm telling you. Look it up.
Wait, that's okay. We will do that, but here's the other thing, dude. Maybe I saw it on Rumble, I want to say. I don't know how when this stuff gets taken down, but it's about the Ben Swan story. But there's clips on Red Eye that I used to do. And I do Gutfeld too sometimes. I'm in New York. I haven't been on for a little bit, but I do it. And I know Greg. And it's him and Breitbart joking about ping pong and pizza like on his show because of these people being real creeps. I thought it was fake. Dude. So I messaged Greg. He's like, yeah, it's scary, huh? I'm like, yeah. What, like, what the fuck? So now, and last message I sent on Twitter to him, because I know the guy, I know him a long time, I like him. Yo, dude, if you knew that, what are you talking about at midterms or any other shit? or Fox Iran war. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you know more before I knew. You know,
Yeah.
and you're gonna go along with it. I know I'm in a purity spiral, but I feel like that's too far.
Yeah.
You know, the cannibalism and the the bread, dude, pizza and grape soda. That
Dude, I
what a
looked it up.
jerky, though.
I looked it up. So listen, Andrew Breitbart dies the way you just said. He had a heart attack at 40 years old, 43 years old, which is already kind of weird. That's
Jogging.
super young.
Yeah.
A few weeks later, an autopsy technician from the same coroner's office, Michael Cormier, also died in 2012. Right? So the guy who was working on the case of Andrew Breitbart in the autopsy just drops dead during that same week.
Oh, it's a real shame.
What do you think about that? What do you think? Come on, tell us.
Hey, there's no need to make up.
I'm trying to get you in trouble. I'm just kidding.
Neil, there's no need to make up things. We will never know. We may never know.
It's just, but isn't it funny how the same story every time, like with Epstein killing himself or whatever, and then now it's like you see with this, and there's all these weird things happening surrounding this stuff, and it just goes away.
Yeah, dude, every single time. The one in Austin. Look, I live by where a shooting just happened, where the guy from Senegal was a Shia Iran sympathizing Muslim. There's so many things already that make no sense about that on any level. I've never heard black Shia Muslims. Number one, I mean, I haven't been to Iran, but I've never seen that shit.
Guess what it says? Guess what it says? His autopsy guy died from.
What?
Military grade arsenic. It says.
Oh my God! Why was he taking arsenic? That's crazy.
Why would he have military grade arsenic around him?
What does that mean, military grade? Like, how would you?
That's what it says on this. I'm looking at. There's a book written by.
That's
somebody.
like chemical warfare if you're using it militarily, is it not?
Yeah, there's a book written by someone named Press Gray, some author that's the word he used, military grade arsenic.
Dude,
LA Times, even LA Times talks about it with Richard Winton. Here, can I share my screen?
Yeah, please do.
So this is from April 30th, 2012. It's still on the internet. It says, authorities investigate mysterious death of coroner's technician. He spent his life trying to determine how people died, but now his colleagues are searching for answers how he died in mysterious circumstances. LA police detectives, with the help of LA County's coroner's office, are investigating the death of Michael Cormier, a coroner's technician. Officials said he might have died of poisoning, but they have not provided further information. Cormier, 61, died last week after being taken to Providence St. Joseph Medical Center in Burbank. Earlier, he had complained of pain and vomiting. Hospital staff noticed, blah, blah, blah. Just get to I want to hear what he...
Sounds like a guy got poisoned.
It's pretty obvious what happened here. But yeah, that's pretty nuts, though. This is the guy working on Andrew Breitbart.
Why would I have looked at it? Because I didn't like him at that time. I never looked at Breitbart. Oh,
yeah,
wasn't Bannon at Breitbart? Wasn't Steve Bannon the guy over Breitbart with him? And then all of a sudden he's dead. I never heard How come Bannon didn't bring any of this up?
I know. Isn't that you think he'd be all over this? He'd be all over his boy.
Died, kind of like a Charlie Kirk, but you know where the story is not what they told you.
Yeah, this is very similar to Charlie Kirk, I would say. I think Breitbart's very comparable to Charlie Kirk. He was extremely influential in the 2010s.
Yeah, no shit. Until he's blowing up. That's the thing. You know, it's almost like when you see Noam Chomsky and what's his name together, Bannon. I got that book that Dr. Lynn, when I had Dr. Heather Lynn on the last one, two of them ago. And she told me this book by Teitelbaum to get, because it's not just shitlib complaining. It's about Steve Bannon. I'm only a little bit about halfway through it. I got an Audible and it's good. It's all right. That recording. It's not but anyway, Bannon, yeah, he's a theosophist and a fucking dude. They're all into this shit.
Theosophy stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's just, remember in Doom and they're like Zen, Sunni, Buddha, Orange Catholic, you know, like how he did mashups. That's what they are. They're all mashups.
The perennial wisdom, they call it.
Yes. And then it's to make it, exactly, like a one religio means
one world religion.
Yeah, religio, to bind us together. One ring to bind them all.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here, Mark. Do you have the I'm Just a Kurp rap edition one still to play? I'll play it on mine if you don't, because I gotta take a leak. Let's see what Mike says. If you can. I'm Mark. Sorry. I'm getting messages from every potential thing. Here, I'm going to resend it to you, dude, if you don't have it. Or I'll send it on my computer, I guess. Okay, very well. Dude, have that Ormus stuff you had heard of when I asked you about it last time I texted you. Like, that's a drink from Sumer. What do you know about it?
Which one? The drink you're talking about?
Ormus, the gold shit.
You
Mixed
sent
with
that to me?
yeah, we were texting about it when I first heard of this. It's called Ormus, and it's got ground up pineal gland tissue.
Yeah. Look, there's different versions of this in different places. Like you have the what is it called, that Emperor Marcus Aurelius was taking it too.
Mm-hmm.
There's like these drinks, concoctions that are made up of all types of shit. And what is it called again in the Latin version of it? I forgot what it's called. But
Okay.
anyways, these sacred
Ambrosia
beverages.
or something? No, that's Greek. That's the
Ambrosia is immortality drink. But,
is it golden?
Yeah. Yes, ambrosia is golden. Yeah.
So is this a thing that these people have been making since Sumer, and
It's like the drug version of the alchemist stone. So it's like they're trying to make a concoction of drugs that's the most that can like heal everything, also make you able to see things and prophecy and talk to the gods and become a prophet.
Yeah, well, supposedly the effects are a much longer lifespan and the
Right.
enhancement of psychic abilities.
Yep.
Both
And
side
that's
effects.
exactly how they describe the ambrosia. The ambrosia
Really?
is like it's a golden fruit. That's how it's depicted. It's like nectar. But if you look at the images of it, it's a golden, looks like a peach or something. It's golden fruit.
Yeah, dude. Because I was trying to text Whitney about this, but she never gets back to me about it. But do you remember when what do you call it? That chick from Orange Is New Black there's a clip of her going around when she goes, I saw the golden juice. She kept saying. Somebody offered her the golden juice, and I'm like,
Yep.
What the fuck? Now I thought maybe that could be the little golden vials. That is the high end edition of what these creeps get that Nathan was talking about, or I thought maybe it's just adrenochrome, the old bad bunny, the old white bunny, the old bad white bunny, and then but no, I think it's this stuff. I think somebody was talking to her about Ormus, because if you the guy that wrote that book, Silicon Satan, who his story is just interesting because he's from Silicon Valley and he's talking about Larry Ellison being a Hasatanian. And he talked about seeing these guys at a party that were so old they looked like reptilian, but they were just like really old humans, which I was like, that's gross.
Yeah.
That's so let's say he made it up. Let's say it's not true at all. You just made it up. That's just a thing I'm not going to forget because that's such an interesting, you know what I mean, kind of idea. So that's why I got his book so I can look up more of that. Okay, let's see if
You know what's interesting about the Ambrosius too is it's linked to blood transfusion.
Is that true?
Yes. So they would talk about and these primary sources. I can actually find some.
Wait, so clavicular is the golden fruit that Peter Thiel was drinking from?
So you can see here's the Wikipedia page where it just says ambrosia means immortality. But if you go down a little bit, you can see where it says those who consume ambrosia typically have ichor, not blood in their veins. They have some special thing that's not blood anymore. Oh, and I'm not even joking when I say this. There's a primary source.
Wait. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been trying to figure out what the hell this means. This thing that Nathan Reynolds said to Merkel one time about how they're not flesh and blood, they're flesh and bone. He said they're flesh and bone.
They're vampires.
Flesh and blood. So flesh and bone, is that the ichor?
Now you know why vampires live forever, because they have ichor. And what was I going to say? There's a primary source where Medea, who's like a witch, she's literally doing a blood transfusion on somebody.
Dude, that's
She's
so
taking
nuts.
all their blood out and replacing it with ichor, which is godly blood or something. It's something different.
Yo, dude, that's so crazy.
And then we're talking like 300 BC where they're writing about this shit. Like, imagine what has progressed since then in these in these circles.
Well, as soon as you hear about a funeral home selling the body parts, right, which
Yeah.
does happen, and I was told generational funeral home families. There's not. I mean, I don't know too many names on, but actually, I do. I actually know someone who I could ask, but I don't know how far back they go in the funeral home business. I'm talking like these are people that must have some real Sumerian knowledge that got passed down of stuff you can make out of people. That's supposed to be good. It's supposed to be the most expensive. It's supposed to be like Death Becomes Her, that movie where it's like super expensive, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like human alchemy.
Because isn't ichor like what you would say a bug has for blood instead of blood, or is that just like some almost poetic license and not really a good way to say?
You said
it?
What kind of blood?
Ichor.
It's like an ethereal type of fluid that works as a better version of blood. Like it works as blood, but it's and the first time you hear about it is in Prometheus Bound by a poet named Aeschylus, who lived in Athens around 500 BC. And he said that Prometheus, when he was being pecked by the eagle of Zeus, as he was chained up, he was leaking his ichor on the ground. So he uses that. That's
right.
The first time
He didn't say his blood.
It doesn't say blood, right? So it's like godly blood. It's some other version.
Could that be plasma, as in radiant matter?
Something like that.
Because
it makes you wonder where Greeks even got these ideas from to begin with. Like, how do they even think of something like this if there's not something little kernel of truth behind it? You know,
I'm sure there is. Like the you know, if you get those Fritz Springmeier Illuminati books, he'll tell you the alternate names they have for Illuminati type families, and it's not all Illuminati. One of them is the Olympians. One of them is Moriah conquering the wind. But Olympians stuck out because those all those stories, or even the gross stuff in those files, sound like something like you were here talking about last time. Demigod stuff. Like, I grab a boy and he's going to be my cupbearer if you catch my drift. Just take all the myths and put if you catch my drift after the myth. And they're all horrific. I think they're all to be done on a leader. See, dude, what if the majority of leaders are king for a day? What if that's really what it is the whole time?
Yeah,
you know?
I actually have to correct myself real quick. Look at this. I said Aeschylus in 500 BC. It was actually Homer, who goes back to like 700 BC. He uses the word. He uses the word right here. There's the Greek, but the translation is blood flowed, but immortal blood, ichor pure, such as the blessed inhabitants of heaven may bleed.
That's like plasma, dude.
Yeah, for the gods they don't eat man's food, nor sparkling wine, for they are bloodless and they are death exempt.
Oh my God, dude.
There's the wine and flesh.
So blood's almost like the
I think
internet that they don't have access to unless they hijack it.
Yeah.
So the blood's like them getting online, and
it's them becoming godly and getting tapped into whatever this thing is.
Well, what I mean is the beings that the non-human, the NHI, as we'll call it. You know,
yeah, and if you think about it, the whole vampire tradition, it was always the aristocracy. It was never average Joes who became fit.
That's right.
It's always the kings and princes, and
because you got to have the right blood to hold the other entity, and that's the other thing, dude. You know, I show Reynolds. I bring up Nathan Reynolds all the time because that guy, I got more leads from that guy than anyone I've ever watched talk about anything. And when I say leads, I mean stuff like that you talk about. Dark Journalist, I know about from him. Joseph B. Farrell, I had heard about before, but I hadn't checked until. Dude, I found so many good leads on info because that dude, and they keep being borne out true as I look into them. Like, they keep being like, oh shit, that checks out, and them are so bizarre. I don't know how to make them check out, but then when they do, I'm like, what the fuck? But the flesh and bone thing, God, that sticks out to me in particular, dude.
Yeah. Do you know about Marcus, the Magus, the early Christian who got caught putting drugs in the Eucharist?
No. But I did know Jack in the Box is referring to that box, or Eucharist box, is like it has a demon. It's like a trashing of Catholics, right? And that's what a Jack in the Box is, right?
Yeah. There's this dude named Marcus, and he was a follower of a Gnostic named Valentinus, who was almost
probably right.
He was almost the Pope. So even the church admits this. You could
You know,
read their
that would have been
sources.
the first black pope, Pope Marcus.
He would have changed everything. He would have completely. We would all be Gnostics right now if this guy would have
Wow.
won, because he was like 2 votes away from being Bishop of Rome, and he lost.
Who?
But anyways, this guy's
Okay.
successor.
Who's
his name was
voting? I don't
Marcus.
even know.
What did you say?
Like, who's voting? Like bishops?
Oh
or
yeah.
cardinals?
Back then they had votes just like they do today.
Okay.
We're talking, and this is in the 130s AD, way back. And then we have sources about this. We have people writing about this. And the guy who writes about this, his name is Hippolytus. We have all his text still. He says this guy barely lost, and he would have won. He became Bishop of Rome. He'd be on our list of popes right now. Anyways, he lost, so it doesn't matter. He lost. But his successor was this guy named Marcus, who they call Marcus the Magus. And they even credit him with bringing Christianity into France or Gaul at the time.
Okay.
He's the reason. He's like his ministry was like credited for bringing Christianity all the way up deep into Europe, all the way to France.
Okay.
But anyways, they said this guy got excommunicated because he got caught putting drugs into the Eucharist and giving it to women so that they would trip out.
Sounds like
And if I can share my screen, I can show you these. I can show it to you right now.
Sounds like Amon Hillman. And I tripped to play the Eucharist, man.
Yeah. So this is a translation of Hippolytus from the 2nd century. This is he wrote this in Greek. That we have the translation, and he writes that this Marcus, adept in sorcery, carrying operations by sleight of hand by demons, deceived many. This heretic alleged that there resided in him the mightiest power from the invisible, unnamed places, very often taking the cup, offering a Eucharistic prayer, prolonging to a greater length than the usual word of invocation. He would cause the appearance of a purple, sometimes a red mixture, and then the dupes. There you go, purple. His dupes imagined that a certain grace descended and communicated to a potion of blood red potency.
Okay.
And then, like he says, talked about the drug and all that stuff. But I was going to skip ahead a little bit. He says, and then what he would do was he would mix the drug into a smaller cup, give it to a woman, offer a Eucharistic prayer, and he would stand by. And then it says it goes on to explain these girls would trip out, and they would get the Holy Spirit, and they would like tell them, they report what the oracle was.
What else did Brother Cosby do?
Right. So
okay.
he got caught.
Wait. I'm gonna run this. I can't believe I just said Alman Hillman like that, and it was exactly that purple shit that
Yeah, the
he's
purple.
always talking about.
This is a big
Exactly
part of his
what that
theory.
was.
This is a big part of his theory.
Okay. Let's just make sure this is being shared. Are you guys seeing this in the share screen?
I'm not seeing anything right now.
Uh,
Maybe there it goes. Now I see it.
okay, let's just enjoy this while I go and why can't I switch? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm just a Kurp. I'm only a Kurp, and I'm derpity derping on the interword. Well, it's a long, long skirt to the viral cert. It's a long, long work while I'm stuck in the commercial, but I know I'll go somewhere. At least I hope and pray that I work. But today I'm still just a Kurp. Well, I'm just a Kurp, and I derpity derp. I'll hold you come and derp with Murph. From the guts of the firp, I start as a smurf, hoping for likes and chirps to climb the work. Then it's off to the chirps with the big derps to surf. If I pass all the chirps, I'll be shared foreign word. But if I get flagged or we derp, back to the draft, I'll derp. We work in repurp, in the endless constant derp. Please buy a t-shirt, help Kid Kurp off surf. Have you read Derp Phonetics? Oh, you come and derp with derp.
Oh my God, I just made it back.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I just made it back in time from that.
That was nice. That was.
I have to keep coming
that was
up with
definitely
things
real.
to put up in case I got to take a piss on your live stream. Let me do
Yeah.
some of the chats now because usually I save them all up, but I was getting good info from Gnostic Neil. So what can I do? As the derp bit, as the Kurp bits, so the derps. That may be true. Mason, yes, nice. I left the war in Iran to watch Gnostic Neil get derp.
Nice.
Are you in the war in Iran? Jason Jajani? Okay, wait.
Stay safe.
I got to talk to him again. He was great on Jesse Michaels. After the pager boom booms, you think you think Israel's digital Samson option was the malinformation in the movie Kingsman, or does Israel? They have more pagers. It's called vapes. I made a stupid joke. I make his dumbass joke on stage. Okay, I'm sick of my jokes being psychic, Neil. I go. Now I'd like to tell these little Zoomer kids they're going to go die face down in the dirt. In Iraq. Now that we know the Jews can.
What if the prophets were all in the Old Testament world were all just comics, they're just making fun of shit, and they're all
maybe. I always say now that we know the Jews can blow up our vapes with a text message. There's no go. Okay, so I said that. There's more to it. I'm not going to get into it, but a guy comes up and goes, "Oh, my cousin is in IDF, and that's exact. They could blow up vapes in 2007." He said,
and then we saw
maybe,
it actually happen.
Maybe not 7. Whenever the fuck vapes came out, remember you hear about them blowing up?
Vapes came out around 2007. They weren't big yet.
So I was just throwing that out there because it's a potential bomb because it's that lithium ion, whatever, little battery, and they could found a way. They had a device, and the guy's telling me this after I make a dumb joke. Just like throwing it out because I'm saying absurd shit. But guess what? It's not. I don't really understand the concept of a prophet. I guess is it a fortune teller? They don't call it a fortune teller, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I guess one that works for God is how I don't know how would you define that compared to because it's a fine line between praying and making wishes.
Yeah, I think there's something about that. Like the Greeks would say, that's the muse of comedy. The muse, you were contacting the muse of comedy.
Yeah, well, that there is a thing of that of if you could get out of your
Talia.
What do you mean, Talia?
Share my screen. I'll show you right now. So this is who you're in contact with right now.
Okay, let's see.
According to the Greeks,
she's the muse.
She's the muse of comedy. She inspires comics to say things that can predict the future. Or they say things or write things in plays that are so good that people are inspired by it. Like the job is to affect things in the world.
Right. Interesting.
So that's. I'm just saying. If we're gonna assume the Greeks were right, the pagans were right, that's what happened then.
Or is it the weird DMT thing of the first time I ever did it? That's what I heard was the purple lady they call it.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing this purple drug now later in life, and then this kind of shit. Is that what that is? I interpret it as just being the right brain, like an archetype of the. But now your brain really isn't that cut and dry left and right. That's kind of older.
I think it could be both. I think people can tap into these things, like you mentioned earlier on, people getting into deep meditation without any drugs at all. And I think there are concoctions you can make to make it process work quicker.
For me, it would be a couple of White Claws and
maybe that's all. Maybe that's all that matters for your wiring.
I mean, I've done years of experiments to see what works best.
Everyone's different. That's true.
Not everything works the same, dude.
Right.
I remember doing at the old creek in the cave in Brooklyn, and it was me and Julie McCullough. They used to have the thing where they had this volcano weed vaporizer back when that was like a,
that's the first time I tried DMT was with the volcano.
You could do it with that? Oh,
yes, that's the best way to do it. I'm not joking. The best
of course,
DMT trips I've ever had.
You're right.
2011, I think 2010, maybe this was a long time ago.
Yeah, he did right.
Volcano was the best DMT trip ever. That's if you want to meet God, get the volcano.
Well, I would just say that it's all in the heating of it, because the times I did it, I either was burning.
That's how you vaporize it. Yeah.
Because I was using that stupid gross meth pipe. It's oil burner.
It could work that way, but
I feel no desire to do DMT at the moment.
No.
If I feel like, if I was like, oh, I need to do some DMT, I would do it. Honestly, I do probably 90% of things I feel like I should do. And luckily for me, none of them are like some kind of crime that's
destructive, right?
None of them are pizza related, whether that be the food or no, they're all like, I don't do pizza offenses. I won't even if it's I had a guy one time on the road. This motherfucker, he had 2 pieces of pizza, and he did something where he poked my pizza. He took it and bit out of it, and I was like we're dating. Dude, no man's ever done that ever to me. I go, what the fuck? He's like, I'll buy you. And he's like, well, I'm grossed out. I don't even want to eat now. It was like some shit like foster care leg humping. This motherfucker did. I never seen anything like it.
Was he trying to be funny? Was he just fucking with you?
It was, dude. There were 2 witnesses there. and it was bizarre. And we to this day can't fully. We assume it's a dominance thing, but why would my feature? Or not even. He wasn't even the feature, but it was like some kind of weird balls move like that. That why would you think you could do that with me? I like, or anybody. Have you ever done that? Just like
No,
fucking.
I've never done that.
Anyway, even like me, my sister and brother never. We weren't a family of enormously fat people, though, to be fair. So that could be why. And this person was Canadian. You have to figure that in. Wait, where are you from, Neil?
Buffalo.
Oh, you told me that every time I ask you tell me. Let me read a couple more of these and then we'll go back. Can we find the official doc? Okay, dude, I don't know if it's the second or third episode of this show. I have to go and find it again. I might have it in my. Let me see if I find it in my email, dude, and I'll repost it. But I know it's definitely in the comments of the first or second episode of the Derp with Kurp.
What does that mean? Acknowledgement of monarch. What does that mean?
Oh wait, he searched it. I couldn't find that in those docs. The name monarch. Let's see.
Yeah, what does this person mean by it? Can we find the official acknowledgement?
It's in the NSA archives. The actual name monarch. Artichoke, by the way, has come out since then, which is the same fucking thing. But when we had Juliet Engel on Jimmy Dore show, she was saying, and I go, they've actually said the name monarch, and apparently it's in those NSA archives. I have to go back and grab it because I used to put the link every time I would say it, but it's also they read all the documents. But it could be. Keep in mind, things are up and get taken down, much like the Epstein documents. And unlike Epstein documents, I don't think any. Well, you know what? I can't say that. There's people that are on top of it that hopefully somebody. Because things get disclosed and taken down. It's real fun. That's what this digital shit is going to do, where you can do that forever. Hey, Kurp, love your stuff. Thanks to Kathy O'Brien. Recommend. Narrator in the TFOA mentioned girls with PTSD to remind me of Sil Scalone. That's right. It is Sil Scalone, dude. You're right. With Kyle's show, we would always spell his name Sil instead of Sly. 9/11. Am I a bad person for remembering 9/11? Dude, I still laugh if I think of that. When he showed me that Sil's fake documentary. Yeah, Mark. What's happening? Was Mark just putting his mic on? Oh,
I don't know.
When he showed me that on At Home with Sly Stallone, I used to do with Dunnigan. So it was he was like, he made a documentary. Sil's always making new projects that he wants to impress me with, and it was called The Day We Got 9/11. And it's he wouldn't show it to me before so I could just react to it when I first saw it. Dude, fucking hysterical.
Was it?
All right. Yeah. At Home with Sly Stallone with Kyle Dunnigan. We're going to do a new pussy soon. It's just hard because nobody cares about woke anymore. Right. Yeah, so what happened? The storyline I'm pushing is that my Michael accidentally joined ICE trying to protest ICE. They don't really vet people, and there were so many illegal immigrants being hired, I thought it wasn't ICE.
Isn't that
I think I may have shot a lesbian, Michael. All right, let's see. What's next? If Yehoshua is Joshua and Jacob is Jacob, Jesus is Jesus, do you think there's etymological significance? And also, do Puerto Ricans speak their language of God? Maybe yes. Shout out from North Carolina. Wait, Spanish is the language of God, is what you're saying? It's a Latin.
Spanish comes from Latin, but it has influence from Arabic. That's why when the word e means and. That's from vav. Vav means and in Arabic and Hebrew. We don't say, we say and obviously, but the Latin doesn't do that. Also, el and la, those are from Arabic too.
They are?
Yeah, so that all of the what do you call them? The definite articles like the and with come from Arabic, but everything else comes from Latin. So Spanish is a weird language that has a mixture of Indo-European and Semitic influence.
Well, I thought it was a dumb question about Puerto Ricans, but it looks like you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Epigenetics tried digital optogenetics via devices like mutating me with blue light into my face. Yeah, I believe you, dude. That's really upsetting. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $2 to tell me. Kate Welly, do you think the edible Joey Diaz gave to Owen Benjamin made him lose his mind, or was he always a bit goofy? No, I think what pushed him over was losing a bunch of work because he said something about that guy.
That was crazy. I saw that video.
I mean, no, in the moment you will lose your mind from edibles if you take too many edibles. But
yeah, he just walked out. He just said, "I'm out of here. I can't do this."
Yeah, not permanently.
But wasn't that the moment where Owen Benjamin completely changed up his political views and started going way more?
I would
hardcore?
say the moment. I think the moment was when because remember, dude, he was hanging out with Vince Vaughn. He was dating Christina Ricci back in the day. He was like
I think he was on Punked one time with Ashton Kutcher.
He was in that movie. He was in the House Bunny, which I thought was a pretty funny movie. I can't remember it, but I remember liking it. But anyway, okay, a guy that he's like the handsomest man that I've ever seen with gigantism. I'm gonna give him that prop right now of a guy with acromegalia, like the handsomest way he could turn out, having that for sure. And all of a sudden, big giant white frat guys like that were the least. Like the Vince Vaughn thing, you're like, we fucking hate that shit. Okay, that's what all of Hollywood did in like about a 6-month time period. It was almost like all those dudes had fucked all the chicks, and their chicks were mad about it. And I mean, a lot of them did. I don't mean Owen, but then, so online, this is when there's a lot of like starting the culture war bullshit online, right? This was before like it was called meme wars. This is before it was called cancel culture. They were calling it call out culture. All this bullshit. And you would have people say moronic, millennial, dingbat, Portland, Brooklyn, kind of fucking gender studies majors and fucking, I don't even remember all the stupid classes that were invented by Wall Street, but what you would call woke, it was social justice back then. They would come at you, and I had no respect for these people, and I would say whatever the fuck I want to them, because you could. It wasn't how now where you got to be careful. They'll be mad online if you do that. There wasn't none of that. And I would say exactly what I think of people who say stupid drivel at me. Well, if I really focus on you, I'm kind of a little bit hurtful, I would say. And only in words, I don't do any of that shit where I fuck with people's life, or I despise that. But people saying a good fucking thing about them will, people don't ever forget that, dude. And that caused a whole thing. So meanwhile, Owen, we want to wipe the smirk off of big white men's faces for right now. Owen suddenly is like all the things they hate from being a guy who's dating actresses because he played piano at the fucking Improv doing some piano comedy. So it's not all at once. It's like, that's a thing. The thing that I'm on his side about, even though I'm not on his side about a lot of the things with him, but this thing I am on his side about. He said that it's child abuse to trans your fucking 5-year-old, and he is not wrong to say that. Yeah. In fact, he's right to say that. And so he lost all his improv gigs all across the country. And this is after already he's not going to be getting acting roles anymore and all that because of he's a white guy. So you understand? Like, I never gave a fuck about any of that shit the whole time. I'm a loser who likes doing stand-up. Like, I'm that much. That means you're a failed comic. If you are not doing everything except stand-up, like movies, and you don't really have to do it except if you want, that's called a failed comic. That's not a thing I'm sad about. I'm just telling you that's what it is. So I'm fine with that. But if you had a taste of you hanging out with Vince Vaughn in his heyday, like all these people are getting like sitcoms and shit, and this is before it was more cool to not give a fuck about something like that. Do you know what I mean? This is before, like, I wouldn't have a stream on fucking YouTube back then.
Right.
I mean, it's comical now when I think about it, but I'd be like, I'm on like real TV, anyway. So that broke him down. And then not only that, I know when we did the Rogan podcast, he had a big thing of Addies where he's like, hey, you want some? When he drove me home. I was totally cool with him at the thing. We had him on. Joe asked me to come on to try to tell Owen to stop going online and starting this shit, because I had already gone through it. So when I went on, this is like right after Louis CK shit happened, New York Times. Nobody read the article. I read it. I was outraged that it was, I'm like, what? And by the way, think about that now in light of the Epstein files, the bullshit of that Louis New York Times article.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, just think of the absolute nonsense of that. I supported Louis the whole time. The whole time I was on Louis' side, because I'm listening to every word of the article of what people are saying, and it wasn't adding up to what somebody going, can I do this? And you go, yeah, fuck you. You said, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. I'd lose my job if I don't want to see somebody's dick. I'll bet any black girl in that situation would have known if they want to see his dick or not. I'll bet you they would. I bet you only white guitar alt bitches are going to be like, no, could you just help me?
Yeah, make a story out of it, right? I agree.
But
with that.
again, if it's a non-consensual thing, that's not in the story. What's in that New York Times that was a big deal was a consensual non-contact act that is significantly less weird than calling a child a pizza. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
And we're doing that. All these pieces of shit, they're still out there. There's no comeuppance for nobody.
Right.
There's not. I'm in the Epstein files, assholes. I didn't do nothing, but if I did, so what? What are you gonna do? Nothing. Go vote.
nothing's happening.
Go fucking vote.
Well,
Go vote
then
the other party.
you do have the prince. What's his name of it? The prince in England who lost his.
He got
estate.
20 minutes in the clink and he's gonna be fine. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, but he
The
lost his
real
estate. He
comeuppance,
lost all
yeah.
his. He got affected by it.
I think Harry was affected more than that motherfucker was. And by the way, fuck him. King Charles is a piece of shit. What about him and Jimmy Savile? And
I
his
know.
pedo
You're right,
uncle?
you're right. It should have been worse than he got.
Dude,
That's true.
Dude, think of all these stories you brought up before, but when you think these fairy tale thing, you know, the Dracula stories are always royalty. But think of all. Whoa,
My
what was
leg
that?
just got. I can fix it real quick. I'll be
That's-
right back.
that was cool and spooky. I thought you were setting the mood. Neil, have you seen Pythagoras' 108, 36, 36 triangle representing a water molecule? An incommensurability holographic principle, really? Water gets referenced as an antenna in Plato's Trinity, picks up signal. So, funny you should say that, because somewhere around 8 terahertz, I was told that water will take on interdimensional properties.
Did
don't
I
know if
show
that's
you
true,
the
but I can prove
Pythagoras pentagram stuff?
No, please do.
You want to see it real quick? It takes us like a two-minute clip.
Better than me talking, yeah.
All right, here, watch this clip right here. I already got it ready. This is from Disney, by the way.
Ooh,
I mean, you and I talk about Disney. Remember the last time I was on here? Watch what they show the pentagram. I'm gonna share my screen right now.
Yeah.
If you're if you
It's
can
good
pull
they
it
have
up.
Vatican status.
There we go. Check this out.
Come on. Let's go to ancient Greece.
Hold on, I gotta unmute
To the
mine.
time of Pythagoras, the master egghead of them all.
You hear you said Pythagoras?
Uh-huh.
Let's go to ancient Greece. To the time of Pythagoras, the master egghead of them all.
Hey, take your chat down.
The
will you
father
do?
of mathematics and
Mark,
music.
take that chat down.
Mathematics and music?
Ah, you'll find mathematics in the darndest places. Watch. First, we'll need a string. Stretch it good and tight. Plunk it. Now divide in half. Plunk again. You see? It's the same tone, 1 octave higher. Now divide the next section. And the next. Pythagoras discovered the octave had a ratio of 2 to 1. With simple fractions, he got this. And from this harmony in numbers developed the musical scale of today.
By God, you do find mathematics in the darndest places.
You can imagine how excited Pythagoras was when he shared his findings with his pals, a fraternity of eggheads, known as the Pythagoreans. They used to meet in secret to discuss their mathematical discoveries. Only members were allowed to attend. They had a secret emblem, the pentagram. Let's see what the topic is for today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pythagoras, boy, put it down. Now I'll be a translated for him.
Holy.
It was our old friend Pythagoras who
Watch.
discovered that the pentagram was full of mathemagic.
Mathemagic.
The 2 shorter lines combined exactly equal the third. And this line shows the magic proportions of the famous golden section. The second and third lines exactly equal the fourth.
golden
Once again, we
ratio.
have the golden section.
The golden ratio.
But this is only the beginning. Hidden within the pentagram is a secret for creating a golden rectangle, which the Greeks admired for its beautiful proportions and magic qualities. The star contains the golden rectangle many times over.
This is on Disney, dude.
Yo,
In fact, we know that vibe coding could be a
yo, they have the upside down one too in it?
Yep.
We'll have-
It's a most remarkable shape. It can mathematically reproduce itself
Wait,
indefinitely.
are we gonna get grabbed off
No.
here because it's
This is
Disney?
on my channel. I didn't get dinged for it
Oh, good.
because
Okay.
I use the green. I use this.
I feel like showing Disney's pentagram cartoons.
But
will
you get the
somehow
point.
bring-
Oh yeah, they go on to explain how they use it for all their temples. All their temples are based on the same mathematical sequence.
Well, there you have it. Esoteric secrets hidden. Not even hidden. They're just in Disney.
In everywhere. Anyways, you get the point.
Well, so the pentagram is. So these are a collection of Pythagoras, I call them. But the pentagram is it's like it's like there's a secret meaning and there's a meaning for the chumps.
Yeah, these were initiates. These were super highly educated, aristocratic elites that knew about this stuff. No average farmer, soldier knew about any of this stuff.
Well, what if I was in well, I guess it's Greece.
You have to be initiated.
How did
people didn't even know about this until modern times when they started digging into the primary sources and going into these libraries and going, holy shit, pentagrams all over this. That no one knew about this all throughout the Middle Ages.
Well, somebody did, but just not the sources.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Very high elites knew about this.
Apparently people know about all kind of shit. They ain't gonna share with you.
Notre Dame is built on the golden ratio, the golden rectangle. So the architects knew how to design things this way.
But in actual math, it's not really that exact like that. Somebody's kind of like exaggerating that everything's like that. You gotta look it up, but it might be Veritasium or something. I saw it on. But I thought that was interesting. It's like right brain, left brain. It's not really cut and dry like that. But the 5 point, the human being, the 5-point star shape.
Yep.
I saw that on a
Da Vinci wrote a book about the five-pointed star.
So the guy upside down.
Human beings have like a certain. We are like a 5-pointed star. He said basically.
Yeah, that's why all the aliens look like Star Trek aliens. If you watch Gaia, which I don't.
Think about it. You have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. 5 points.
That's right. So they're correlate and they're doing a hermetic thing. So it's as above. So they're going to correlate all kinds of shit. So it's like, oh, I bet we could travel back in time if I just stick something in your ass the wrong way. Like there's that kind of. Right? Something horrible. It's always horrible.
That's how they get them. Yeah.
They're like, so, you have to, because it's like a hologram where every little bit of the hologram has the full picture inside of it. So if I can crap up on the smallest level, I can make the picture suck ass in some way. I'll affect the entire hologram.
Yep.
Why would I do that? I don't know. I'm inbred. I still don't get the part of why this would be a good idea, but I know. I believe that Anya Epstein chick more and more every day. You know who Anya Epstein
I was
is?
on here with her.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, we were talking about Disney too. That's so
Wait,
funny.
You were on with her where? On yours?
Was that her name? Anya? It was me, you.
No.
Someone
Sean Atwood had her, and Emma had her on.
Oh,
and she's Epstein's niece.
Who are you and I talking to the one time? She was an Epstein victim.
No, when you came on and we had the one Epstein victim that was like, she spent too much time on the acting part of her career and not enough on the Epstein part. But I'm not going to tell some victim of Epstein.
Right. Yeah. Tell us all the crazy stuff right now.
Dude, listen. And because I have guests on all the time. And if I think something's interesting, then it's interesting to me. I don't give a fuck. I don't look at comments of, like, if I do like Rogan, and I used to get that Owen episode where he was like, his fans were mad. They're like, you didn't let Owen talk enough. And I'm like, you're welcome, Owen.
You're right.
What the fuck are you talking? Okay, again, had nothing against him, but his fans were like shitty as hell, and then like
bear people.
I mean, dude, it's like, what am I going to even make fun of there? It's so. I mean, it speaks for itself. I just put it that way. Just look.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not going to discourage anybody from looking into it. I say go look into it and see. You tell me how you feel when you look at it, and you're right. However you feel, how about that?
Yeah.
I got completely distracted for what I was saying. Okay, hold on. Okay. You should make sure to say Kurt Metzger is my rabbi, Professor Zhang. Did Professor Zhang say I'm his rabbi? If that is true, I will do that.
That's pretty funny.
Kurp is really freeing to realize everything I've been taught has been complete bullshit. Everything is a fake gay lie. Well, it's a half lie. They're not all lies. It's like just manipulating information. I don't know. Like it's ironic. Hidden Amaruka. I recommend the guy's channel all the time. And he spells it like Amaru, like that god Amaruka. And he does he has this really great, I don't know if some of the memes he finds, but some he makes and they're funny. But one, he has a thing about how fiction is the quarantine zone where you can talk about shit that isn't allowed to be talked about in normal, So that's how. So if something bad, dude, watching Good Luck, Don't Die and whatever is like I'm a writer, dude, and anybody writing movies is doing what I'm doing and looking into shit so they can come up with shit. You know, like Roger Avery. If you saw him, I talked to that guy. Exactly a guy after my own heart that looks into this shit and writes about it. So, guess what? It launders it. It turns it into the fake. Doctor Strange getting pushed out of his body by the Celtic white lady instead of the Fu Manchu because they thought they weren't being racist, but then Asians were mad that it wasn't a Fu Manchu training him. All that shit is shit that is based on real stuff a writer read about. And then when you make it into fiction, it moves into the realm of fiction. So there's a nice layer of magic to hide. The Donald Duck thing's so crazy because it's being brought back into the realm of reality by Disney, whose job is normally to take it out of the realm of reality.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway, it's not so cut and dry. It's like you just got to use discernment.
Things are more nuanced than black and white.
Yeah, and honestly, if you just have principles, like, look, I'm not telling you what you got to believe or nothing, but like, here's just a couple that I'm way into, and I'm sorry if I can't argue them well. Okay, I feel like you shouldn't grape and eat children, and I can't budge on it, and you know, I don't want to let best be the enemy of good here, like I'm doing for the midterms. All right, what's next? Have you ever talked to Mike Rainey? He's a comedian in Austin. The podcast called Little Stinkers. They have a serial killer cult. No, wait. I think I know him. I'm going to look into that. Thanks for the tip. All right, what's next? Is it true the police officer found AW's laptop, how they all self-exit the party, glad it got something in the rug? But yeah, a bunch of suicides around that. That part is true. But you know what? When I go on Ben Swan later today, I'm going to extra confirm it. Because it's hard to tell. There's so much obfuscation around this. But as far as I know, a bunch of police suicides have to find Anthony Weiner's laptop and frazzle drip, which I think happened 100%. I think that's exactly what they do. And isn't it telling that Trump isn't prosecuting any of them? Isn't that very telling?
Right. That's what I keep saying.
Oh, Trump doesn't do that stuff. Oh, he doesn't. Well, I hate him more now because he's covering.
For Clinton. Did you hear him? I feel terrible that Clinton.
So that lets you know where he thinks he is and where he thinks you are, motherfucker. And now,
dude, these people are so delusional. They think he's going to prosecute Hillary Clinton. Still, they still think that.
They're not even going to prosecute the Somali fraud. Remember this stupid Somali fraud? That Mormon boy.
They're on the same team, dude.
That Mormon construct boy, fake journalist, Burley, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
Much love, Mr. Gnostic. Any plans for another? Oh, you did war mode?
War mode? Me?
Yeah. Did you? Oh, you're asking if I will.
Yeah. Yeah.
I must not have. Listen, war mode ain't got back to me, and I don't know if that's because what's his name's brother changed his number or something. But I would love to have a war mode. That was a great fucking podcast. Those guys are nuts. They helped Mark Passio move. Dude, those guys they were going to go to Arden, Delaware, and check it out. And I'm like, I don't know if you should just do that, but those guys rule. I was in GT Gateway from grades 5 to 8, graduated in 2014. In 5th and 6th, we had to pick a German name. Mine was Kurt, it was just Kurt, that we would use on tests or in class. 7th to 8th had a lot of Greek mythology. Teacher for 7th and 8th also taught Dahmer how to cook. He didn't say
good
that.
Education you had.
Yeah. Dahmer's dad wrote a book about how he was a hypnotist and a mind control guy. Do you know that?
No, that's crazy. That makes a lot of sense.
Coop, Coop. I think his name's Coop. It's a YouTube channel, and he had a whole thing. And the audio, the digital version of the book has taken it out. But in the original copy of the book, Dahmer's dad. Now think how crazy you'd be to be Dahmer's dad to write a book about raising Jeffrey Dahmer. If your kid was awesome and you do that, I think you're a narcissist, psychopath. But you do that after Jeffrey Dahmer, because if you got the eyes to see it, he's speaking to other people into evil shit and bragging. And so he's a control freak. He's letting you know, if you get the original copy of Dahmer's dad's book, he's letting you know the shit he does and that Dahmer's his creation. Because, by the way, he's letting you know.
By the way, that reminds me, in Ovid's Metamorphosis, which is a Latin text from the 1st century BC, there's a story in there of the god Adonis who plucked the little, it says in Latin, but it's translated in English, plucked the manhood from little boys before they came of age.
Yeah.
Well, that text got taken out of all the newest translations. You can't even find it. You have to go back to you have to pull up some 1800s translation to find it. They took it out.
Plucked it. Don't pluck them. Come on, man.
Isn't that? But like, why would they take that out? It's part of the text. Why wouldn't you want? Shouldn't
You know
people?
what? Think of the castratis that they had in the goddamn church, because they looked more childlike, and think of how, like, never mind all the PDF file aspect of it, but look at the fucking way someone thinks you're a different species to be bred different ways, like a dog. That's what castrating someone to guard your harem or do whatever, or put them in your choir, is that you look at other human beings, you think you're from like serpent blood, you think you're a different thing, whether you are or not. I don't even know. It sounds retarded to me, but they think that, and so you are fit to poison people, mutate them. Sean Atwood read me the horrible email from what's his name's Robert Trivers, who's the mentor of Brett Weinstein. And I gotta say, Brett Weinstein, not a good explanation about Robert Trivers. I didn't take it as Brett Weinstein's into that stuff. I took it as these nerds are afraid to go against authority. They're just trained to go. And because Brett Weinstein was the one, I learned about gain of function from him. So I'm not going to take that away from Brett Weinstein, because that was the truth.
And he's the guy who stepped up against that crazy university that
and so
he
look,
gets respect for that.
Everybody gets credit for what I don't care about this high school shit at all. I care about what you did and what I learned from you, and whether it was useful or it wasted my fucking life. You know, I'm old. Okay, new Pat the Iranian bat value Terrence. I thought he's Assyrian, not Iranian. I thought he is ASS Assyrian. I thought that's what Pat, even though he's from Iran, I thought Patrick Pat value was that.
That's part of the population of Iran is Assyrians, Persians, and
Assyrians are very go way back.
That's mostly Iraq, though. Iraqi.
There's new Terrence hat. What is? Oh boy, the way you wrote it was hard to understand, but I'm glad I took the time, because that's a new Terrence. There's new teriology. You're telling me for me to learn. That's the one thing I will pay to take lessons in, teriology. Kurt, have you heard the cartoon My Pet Goat 2? It came out in 2012. No, it's literally about the time period from 2017 to now. Okay, is that someone exposing it, or I'm gonna look it up because that sounds very
I think it's pretty good.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you very much. All right, what's next? Yo, so my therapist has been working with MK victims since '87, but still believes QAnon and that Trump is going to save the world. Is your therapist Roseanne?
By the way, the My Pet Goat is the name of the book that George Bush was reading.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was very interested in learning about it. Great shrink, though. Not many offer EMDR. Oh, that's the one that is very telling. If you're getting that, that means you experienced some hardcore trauma. Yeah, Kathy O'Brien was on Jimmy Dore show, and it's very funny. The boomers generation of MK slaves had way more faith in Trump than, let's say, Gen X down. And I was told Trump is Jesuit from a generational satanic family, got Jesuit programmed young. His brother couldn't take it. That's why he did drugs. You know, people do drugs, they can't take trauma they had.
Yeah.
Now, maybe the trauma isn't as bad as all that, and they're just being a baby, but that's, you medicate for a reason. Okay. I'm not saying it's a good reason automatically, but sometimes a very good reason. And so I didn't want to believe that at all. I never had faith in Trump, but I had some hope that maybe he was going to really, hey, just arrest the other side and no Republicans, and you got half the problem right there. But he didn't. He's above you. That's sad. I didn't know about Baphomets until your pod. I realized I unknowingly participate in rituals. You like Joe DeRosa, you picked up a he-she? Okay. I dated an alt girl with a Baphomet full chest tattoo. Let's just say I made my offering.
I don't know what happened. I just ended up in a ritual, satanic ritual. I don't know. I'm taking a walk down the street. Look, I'm just walking my dog, and next thing I know, I'm off.
Listen, thank you for the 10 bugs. I may say that to someone in conversation. I wouldn't say it on stage, but that's fucking hysterical.
That is a funny comment right there.
And let's just say I made my offerings, if you know what. That's fucking funny shit. Okay, what's next? That's so funny. Kurp, would you ever derp with Ammon Hillman? Sure.
You should.
Hey,
I've had him on my channel. He hates me now because I disagree with some of those.
And I don't
if
care
you're gonna
about
have him on, just know you're gonna get about 60% truth, 40% bullshit.
Well, like I said, everybody can lie to me if they want. Don't worry about that. I just want to hear the data out of your mouth. And
Yeah. No, he's worth
I'll figure
it
out
dude.
later what you are.
You should have him on.
Listen, if you think when someone And I get these comments from people all the time. We're like, this guy's too pushy, or this one, I don't. She seemed like the Epstein victim that when you were here, who I know is 100%. I believe her even more. The people go, I don't really believe it because she didn't like. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you don't know, like, it's like there's people that just sit there and they got to be told things in a very specific way, or they won't listen. But let me say it again: if you're telling me something that's a lie, it's still valuable to me because I get data from you. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'll hear out a crazy. Now, the only thing I won't hear out, and this is what I did on Lev's. Lev had me on to talk to his friend from the Atlantic Council, who was a dipshit. And I won't take where I know you're lying to me, like you don't know, like you don't think I know shit. And it's just, it'll get so insulting that I will in turn insult you. And I'm really good at it. I mean, like, I'm really good at it. You shouldn't, I come in like a good, what do they call good faith? Whatever the dumb term is. I just want to know what I want to know. So
if you challenge anything he says, he'll hate you and make videos about you forever.
Oh, well, he'll see a bump in his views if he does. Okay. Yeah. Just popped up. Happy to see Kurp getting this rabbit hole. I think the Marcion heresy in Israel and Israel Anderson is up. Have you read Genuflect yet? No, I have not, but I've listened to a lot of it on various channels, but where it gets taken down. But I need the book. That's 100%. I got to get clock shavings as well. I miss TT and all that was scrub. What's TT? Oh, Trace Twyman. No, you can find a lot of stuff, dude. The Minis Moose one, which I sent to Neil, is one of the most important ones, because when I see that pentagram shit and the Minis Moose thing, and then I hear Anya Epstein's niece on Sean Atwood talking about Disney's real name is Artur Beek, which sounds out there, but Tracy Twyman's research on Disney showed, yeah, no, I bet it is. Okay, what's next? Did Professor Jane say I'm his rabbi? That's a big honor, because I call Rabbi Richard Grove, who's, to my knowledge, not Jewish. He's my rabbi. That's the guy who sent me a lot of books, a lot of good books. And Richard Grove, I don't know, dude. I got to go on a show and bump his thing up, because he should have a lot more views. That's a guy. That's one of the main guys putting me on to info is Richard Grove. Have you heard the flaccid phallic fallacy, FPF or FFF? It's a geopolitical theory of mine. Well, no. How would I have heard of your own geopolitical theories? So the first, I don't even know your name, Jurglin. My name's Marcus. I used to listen to a band named Purple Z, and you fellows are tripping me out. Any esoteric significance to acetone? Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Yeah. Oh, Buffalo Time.
Significance to acetone.
For painting? Know. You mean an oil painting? That's what I know.
That's where that's like nail polish remover. Isn't that what acetone is?
I guess Osriel taught or not Osriel. Who's the Nephilim that taught mankind, or the Watcher that taught people the art of war and makeup? Okay, what else? Is that it?
Go Bills.
You were supposed to punch him. Who? Go the next one. Tasty Dip and Derp say, Kurt, those are those Tartarian Empire videos on YouTube legit? It'd be cool if there were way more giants in the 1800s. Yo, Mark Windows on the World. He's got a whole thing on the Tartaria thing, and Mark Windows. I think the guy's great, man. So Tartaria, that's on maps. You have to understand something. A loose confederation of tribes.
That's all it is.
People that are into empires cannot abide the idea of some kind of anarchic society working where everybody's in their own thing and not fucking with each other. So that's why they have to push it to you as some kind of empire. But empires are for fucking cunts.
If Tartary was an empire, then is Africa an empire?
Dude, because you're very close to how it is by saying that.
That same map that says Tartary is over here says Africa's down here.
They didn't have a fucking empire. There's a bunch of people. They just classifying it. Now there's Tartaria in Romania. There's a town. Yeah. But you have to understand, all of that is just the collection. Like Tartars. Everybody's being British and drawing maps about it, like of Iraq where it doesn't really fit by saying Tartaria. Yeah. These are loose confederations that are anarchic. Do you think that your leaders could abide you ever knowing that something like that existed? So the people writing about Tartaria with the World's Fair bullshit, that's where you're getting the other stuff from. And my buddy Steve Poikinen, because I was like, where did this Tartaria thing come from? It's some one guy who was doing a World's Fair thing, and it was like some kind of Men in Black type thing about it, and he's renounced it. But they all turned against him. Yeah, I think it's like how I think flat Earth
Tartars are real people. They're the people who used to control that part of the world. It just
like saying Africans are real people and there's in Africa.
Exactly. Same thing. Yeah.
not a continent, but a loose confederate, like not really an empire. And the shit about, you know, where we don't have the elaborate buildings, that you can thank capitalism for that, dickhead. Do you? Oh yeah, sure. Andrew Dice Mishlove. Okay, hold on. Hickory dickory dock. I sucked a Bigfoot's cock. All right, there you go.
Is he still around, that guy?
I sure am. Can you tell us a bit more about the Hyksos and your opinion? Oh, great question, Alex.
What about them? I mean, they're the Semitic.
I'd like to know that same thing.
So the Hyksos were the ruling elite class of Egypt from the 16th to 17th dynasty, right around there. So Bronze Age rulers, and they came from Syria. So they're like Semitic.
They did? They're
Syrian. They came from
Syrian.
Syria, migrated down into Egypt, took control of Egypt, were ruling Egypt for like 100 years.
How do we know they're from Syria? Because I really was.
They told us this. We have the writings of them.
Oh no shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man. That's interesting. Okay, go ahead.
So they were these Semitic people. They were ruling. They worshipped the god Set.
No
Because everyone
way.
else worshipped Osiris, so they worship Set because they want to be different than everyone else. And
The god of foreigners,
yeah, and they equate Set with Baal.
of the master. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have like Baal and Set are the same god to them. Anyways, long story short, they end up getting taken out of power. It's called the Hyksos expulsion, and then they show up. They're just gone from history after that. So Josephus, who's a first century historian, he's the first person to say, I think the Hyksos expulsion is the Exodus, and I think that Hyksos are our ancestors from Egypt. Now, there's probably some truth to this.
Right.
They probably are related to the Hyksos,
Mm-hmm.
but most people think the story of the Exodus is highly legendary. It's a legendary version of the Hyksos.
The Bible's not one book. It's a library of books to legitimize Jesus Christ, the one that Christians are using. So to treat it like it's this one George R.R. Martin series that all
Exactly.
you can't like, and I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying not inspired. I'm not like taking any divinity away from it by saying that. I'm just telling you the way to look at it, that people look at it, is wrong.
Yeah,
They
it's not
look
one
at
big story.
And so, but it doesn't really change the Jesus part. That is, I mean, because that's why they have this particular library, was to legitimate Jesus. So that's why it's like that. But if you look at it, like I said, people don't want to use any nuance or discernment for anything and just go, this is all literally true or this is all literally fake.
Right.
Or there's a myth. The myth is to encode information that's valuable. Now, there's an extreme to it that I despise, which is going like, no, actually, what that symbolizes is you got to suck my dick. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, use your goddamn. Okay. Anyway, that's some good Hyksos talk. Thank you.
No, for sure, though. Yeah.
What's next, dude? Anything? Or is that it? Kurp, Monarch is adjacent. Yes, it is. Jason Moore program. And not just that, there's a movie with Michael Bain called Time Bomb that was awesome. I saw when I was young. They made a ton of movies about The Long Kiss Goodnight. Charlie Baltimore, played by what's her name, and Samuel L. Jackson's in it. That's a good one too. And she forgot all these movies where somebody forgot they were an assassin for the government. They made a lot of them. Why? Why was that such a popular thing? Well, I mean, it does captivate the imagination, but also we've now put this real thing in the quarantine zone. So now when J.R. Sweet's book, I keep telling you guys to get, or just go to the website. If you don't want the book's more exhaustive, but the website, you could read his thing, mormonmonarch.org. That guy was an assassin that had to kill. And he talks about the Shinryu Umraiki, whatever cult in Japan. Oh, that's a CIA thing too, by the way. Do you know that? Yeah, we had leftover gas that we gave to them, and they were using MK Ultra equipment to do like Scientology audits. It's in all their shit. So that was directly from the CIA, because as you know, Japan's the way it is because of the CIA and us. Most of the bad things are because of America and the CIA. Isn't that something? Delta F was Joseph Mengele, who goes by the name who now. Oh no, I did not know the original. Oh no, I knew Dr. Green was Mengele, but I didn't know about. I mean, is Mengele alive? Or do you mean he later went by Wolfgang? Confusing, but I did know the Mengele thing. Thank you. What's next? Did you know DARPA released their N3 program alongside COVID-19? The programs need a 6-foot isolation radius with your bio EMF. Now that's interesting. Now, as I understood the 6 foot social distancing was initially the NHS said 10 feet. However, business leaders were like, you're killing us here, 10 feet. How are we supposed to do business? So they go, okay, we'll give it to you at 6 feet. So that's very plausible to me, that story. But it's not necessarily neither or. It can always be a yes and. I just have never heard of that. But, dude, people are being bombarded by EMF rays, and we know that shit's affects things. We know it does, even if they don't want to say it. Of course it does. They wouldn't do it if it did. All right, what's next? Looking at Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd, alchemical guitar from band Television. Okay, I'll try to remember that. That might be interesting. What's next? Nate from Valhalla, VFT mentioned you. The dude from the Green Beret guy. Yeah, I would like to have him on. I would like to have him on, actually. Probably, if I can set it up. It probably should be easy to set up. Have you watched Josh Reeves, the Spellcaster series? Alex Jones, Professor Shane gave you props on the same day. I know Alex was on Duncan, and he said I hurt his feelings. I assumed my assumption about Alex Jones, which to me is giving him a lot of credit and not being insulting, because I always love that guy. I'm not. But he went through that legal bullshit, which was bullshit. You shouldn't owe $1 billion for, even if he had said exactly what they said, that shouldn't cost $1 billion. Sandy Hook is a CIA spook town where everybody is in. I just saw this movie last night where I'm like, holy shit, this is like a neighborhood like Sandy Hook. That's exactly what this is. But anyway, the ruling was so fucked against him. And I'm like, okay, I remember doing his show when he was like, wants a vodka? And we were drinking between the things. And all of a sudden he slimmed down. He doesn't drink. The guy gets his life together and he's betrayed already by Trump. And so I could easily see him being in a bad position. And I said, I think he had to, because Nick Fuentes is worthless. I don't know why you would have him on ever. But Nick is in a lot of people's blind spots, let's face it. But I always try to steer people to Keno Casino. And Matt at the Internet, Josh, I had on the first episode with Duncan. I had him on from Kiwi Farms, does great work, I say. Whatever the fuck you think they are. I think they do great fucking work myself, and I don't believe any of this shit you heard about.
What do they expose people? Is that what their thing is?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just other spurgs, but it doesn't matter. That guy's young. I don't know how old he is, but he goes, you gotta let people talk about stupid bullshit and stuff that's important. And he's exactly right. That kid Josh is exactly right about that, because I swear to you, being on a news show, I see shit that correlates from that stupid site, Kiwi Farms, that, it actually is shocking. And I realize how much people cannot put the big picture together, because why are they going to look at all these things? I'm just a maniac. Have you watched Josh? Okay, go to the next one. You see Ted Cruz say stop. Come on, it's just the weirdest slip of the tongue ever that I'm aware of in history.
Did he really say that?
He literally said that in a way that if you're watching, you go, okay, he must have meant not that, because you would never say that.
Stop attacking PDFs.
Dude, we on Jimmy Dore, we played it, and it's like, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because it would be insane for him to have said that unironically. It's just like
C-SPAN even wrote about it. It says, let's stop attacking pedophiles.
Yeah, he's saying, so, Freud, talk about a Freudian slip, goddamn, but I don't think he meant to say that. If he did, then wow.
Did he ever clarify on Twitter what he meant to say, or no?
I bet you someone told him just walk away from it and don't bring it up ever again. I'll bet you, because the best way to handle that little boo-boo is if you can get away with never acknowledging it.
Yeah, that's
what you just got to wait it out.
Wouldn't you want to clarify? I meant to say.
Oh, listen, you might want to clarify more than anything, but if you're a politician, you got people that are like, ooh, that was a boo-boo, and they're going to tell you how to handle it for optics. That's why Nick Fuentes is a piece of shit, everyone, by the way. The people talking about optics, those are liars and scumbags that talk about optics. Why don't you just say what you always fucking mean and don't do fucking bullshit? How about that? You little twerp? Fuck you. Dude, if I have him on my show, I'm going to wear cat ears and show him what a cat guilt's about. Because he's got a nice head of hair on him, a real Danny Sheehan Jesuit head of hair. Every lie contains element of truth, otherwise it wouldn't be believable. Thank you, Sound Chaser. That's why it can be valuable to listen to someone's weird lies, because what happens is when you get facts, you can correlate the lie you were told, and you can pick out. We were just talking about the Almond Hillman thing. No, I'm not saying he's a liar or whatever, but we're talking about that purple thing. You just need the data. If you worked in Intel, they wouldn't tell you not to. They wouldn't go, don't listen to what Rush is saying.
No,
right?
I recommend Almond Hillman. I think people should check him out.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like I checked him out, and it was worth it for me to check him out.
Yeah.
I saw you on there too, but I saw you on other shit.
Yeah,
it was totally worth it. What's the problem? What do you like? Want to stop thinking as soon as possible and settle on something?
Yeah.
Inner Circle. Thanks for $20. What else? Judge Knapp has already stated nobody can be prosecuted. Statute of limitations. Well, remember they changed the statute of limitations for 1 year so that they could have Trump brought up on horse shit. And think about that. The stupid charges. They called him an adjudicated grapist, which means not a grapist. But why would they go with the nonsense from that crazy lady? Why would they have done that if Trump is guilty of doing the horrible things in the Epstein files? Why would they have bothered when they had Biden was in office and has access to it and can go in and go, look at what Trump did? Well, the reason is because they do it too. And they know Trump can never reveal it or he's betraying his class, which the generational wealth would never fucking do or face consequences you could never imagine. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Judge Napolitano, great credit to him because his channel, he's not, Greg ain't wrote me back. I love Greg Gutfeld. Hasn't wrote me back. Probably is like, I don't want to deal with this. But Judge Napolitano, I haven't seen that. I've seen that guy, right? Like, I'm not saying right or wrong. I've seen the guy go with his principles and be like, this is fucked. So I respect you if you could be wrong, but I just like if a guy I could see or a lady or any of the 350 genders has a principle that they stick to and they don't change it, Is the idea of Gaia as a living being so crazy? No. She's an archon, then all life is like a virgin birth. Yeah, I guess you could say that. It's a hermetic, right? As above, so below, as the corpse or the drapes. Can you have Alan Dershowitz on and call it Derp with Kurp and Dersh? Can do. Okay, here's what I can do. I've been working on an Alan Dershowitz hit rap, okay, that I hadn't finished because I was stuck on it. And I can finish it and put it up. And I will do it. How about that? Okay. Thanks for the $5. Neil, you are the guest that covered Catholic doctrine. A bishop wrote of that seminal fluid transmission into a child to remove their evils. No, does it? That can't be.
Yes, that was I was the one who came on here. I told you about the Simonians and the Borborites, and they were drinking emissions. That's the word we use. Seminal fluids. Yeah. It's from Saint Epiphanius. He wrote a book called the Panarion, and he's talking about heresies that happened in the 4 centuries leading up to his time. He's talking about the Borborites and the Simonians were 1st and 2nd century AD.
Ugh. I mean, boy, talk about a remarkably short time from the original teaching to get that perverse, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Must see Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, yeah, I love You Were Never Really Here. Yeah, me too, dude. Me too. And that was written by the guy from Bored to Death, who's a New York writer. That it was the one with the kid from I can't remember it, but the Wes Anderson movie. Saturn's Ring is JC's hood in My Religious Bedrock. Jesus Christ hood? I don't know. I have to sit with that one.
Saturn's
Pentagram was original water, liquid, earth, solid, air, gas, fire, aether. Tesla referenced aether. Older texts call it pure potential. R.A. Castaldo. By the way, I've never had so many people. Well, other than I actually have had that, but people are like, I don't like R.A. Castaldo. That guy had fascinating information. I don't know what the fuck any of you are talking about. But I didn't know that plasma was originally going to be called radiant matter. Did you know that?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was called plasma after blood, the fluid, because it was the lifeblood of the universe. So that's
Ecor.
Ecor.
The whole episode is going back full circle. Ecor.
Yeah, if you let me wander, I'll get back home. Don't worry. But R.A. Castaldo, I got that from R.A. Castaldo. So I don't give a shit what you're like. I don't like how this person's whatever says it. Like, what are you not listening to the thing? Is everything an emotional little girl thing to people? But dude, right. Icor, that's right.
It comes back to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there might be something to that.
Anything else? Or is that the end? Emailing you the books of TT I have. Oh, yeah. Can you? dangermint@yahoo.com. Thanks, man. Do you have a P.O. box we can send to? I'll send you clock shaving. It's a Mothership Comedy Club you can send to. Your fourth eye's becoming a pink sock. You got to cool it with that. Okay. Now stop it. the Derp is with Kurpius. Fair enough. Looking at Cyril Wecht, coroner accused of stealing organs, wrote one of the first books in the JFK Hashashins. Funny.
Wow.
Stealing petuits. What are petuits?
I don't know. What
Oh, pituitaries. Pituitary.
Oh, the glands.
Cyril Wecht. Okay, wait. I am going to look in that. That's wild, dude. Cyril Wecht. Did you see the new Twyman video that 97K posted? No. Will you please post a link if you can? Kurp has been derping me so hard that my fourth eye has become pink sock. That's you said. Oh, that's
fourth eye.
I'm just trying to gape your fourth eyes. In Monsters and Mazes, Tom Hanks has a psychotic break after he and his friends play Dungeons and Dragons type game, and suddenly, yeah, dude, that was a warning about. That was a what do you call it? The when they tell you what they're doing to you. I'm blanking out on it because I'm getting exhausted by super chats, and thank you for them. But I mean, stop giving me money because it's hard to read.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting to earn money doing nothing. It's exhausting. All right, let's go through it. We could do this. Are you familiar with Noor Jasmine? Yes, I am. And she has an
me too. I watched Noor Jasmine.
I want her on as soon as possible because I'll tell you why. And I messaged her, but I would love her to be on. Watch the one about
she does good videos, man.
Yeah,
on
I think
Occult
it's Ken Leavitt, this Mormon fuck DA, and he came out to preemptively say he's not a cannibal pedophile a couple years ago, and the news reported, and they were like, no one said he was. So it was pretty crazy to come out and try to get ahead of something like that when no one even thought that.
You ever seen the Nature Boy one?
On her, yes,
the Nature Boy one.
Yeah,
that
I like her channel, dude.
dude.
I had forgotten I was trying to get her on until you said that, so thank you.
Yeah.
What else? Marduk and Yahweh. Well, from what I understand, Marduk, no one knows what he really looks like, and he's still kicking around. He was at Montauk where he had a crocodile head. I'm just telling you things I heard, not things that are necessarily true.
There's a connection, though.
All these to a crocodile head. Why?
No, with Marduk and Yahweh.
Yeah, of course. These are all now, I don't know if Yahweh is you hear all kind of fucking things, so it's hard to tell what's what. I don't really care what the bottom line is. They're only allowed to lie to you so much. So you gotta and now I believe in God because of the level of trickery being done by people that want me to not believe in God. That's the only, honestly, thank you for convincing me that God's real because of how fucked you are. I honestly, it's like The Exorcist. Why would you, if you're Pazuzu or the whatever the fuck, why would you demonstrate, maybe say a vulgar display of power? It would be too vulgar a display of power. But then later she's like, I don't want to say what she's doing with a crucifix. That seems kind of vulgar. But once you see that, and I'm a priest that's losing my faith, and I see that shit, you don't think my faith will be strengthened that, oh, this shit is real. The whole goal is to keep you mystery sandwich. As Aaron from Seaway, feed him a mystery sandwich. Oh, is it real? I don't know.
Marduk,
maybe we're having a hearing.
Is basically the Babylonian Zeus, whose father is Enki, who's the Saturn, and then whose father is Anu, who's the Uranos. And in Canaanite mythology, you have El, which is like Saturn, and then either Baal or Yahweh, depending on which source.
Interesting. Looking at epic amount of genetic founder mutations exclusive to Ashkenazi, neurons packed too densely. That's the problem. You got too many neurons in there. Contributing factor to mass delusional psychosis. I would say, well, I'm not qualified to know if that neuron thing is real or not. But the contributing factor to mass delusional psychosis would be inbreeding, number one. Okay. And then generational abuse. And everybody's got their own system of it. That's why Albania. Oh, by the way, Albania has an AI prime minister. I don't know if anybody's disturbed by that, but if you talk to Albanians, how in Albania they had this book of how you take revenge. I can't remember the name of it. Every time I meet an Albanian, I want to talk about this book, but it's like a book of codes for Albanians of like, if someone kills your brother, you got to kill his brother. So there's people that were I hope it's better now. I haven't kept up with the story, but for a while, like there were people just hiding out in their homes because a cousin had killed somebody else's cousin, and it was like eternal Hatfield McCoy nonsense. The cone. Oh, I don't remember what it's called. But the point is, that's what you get from inbreeding. Think about how NATO is run, and think about the West and the inbreds that run it, like King Charles, whose consanguinity is way beyond that of an Ashkenazi. I can assure you, scientifically. And think about we just rule the world, and the queen's shit where she holds all that shit and it's just stuff she stole from other fucking people.
Right.
Like some other people someone might want to trash, right? But it's all the same shit. The rulers are scum. If you get rid of all the Ashkenazi tomorrow, we still got the same fucking problems, right? We still got them.
The Habsburgs were all
People
inbred
that
too.
are royalty.
The Habsburgs were all inbred too.
Of course. Well, they got pruned because it was going bad for them. And, it's not one group. They're all fighting like Game of Thrones all the time.
Yeah.
C.D. Osmond, the end. What? Have you ever heard this?
Bled
C.D.
golden
Osmond,
blood? I didn't know that.
He bled ichor. Is that what you're telling me, Tom? Red light eyes whites were easiest to red light eyes eye whites were easiest to hypnotize. Read light eye. Oh, yes, that's why. Yes, dude, that's why it's so valuable.
My bad. I just clicked off by accident. I didn't mean to do that.
You were like, I can't. You just blew my mind. I gotta go. Yeah, light-eyed whites are easier to hypnotize. That's true, but everybody's got their own rhythm they get hypnotized to. You've seen it with every person you've ever heard of. Think of ethnic music that you don't like from some country where you don't like. I'm not saying any specific kind. What?
C.D. Osmond really did blow. There really is yellow blood coming out of him.
Okay, can you put it up? I would like to see it, please.
All right.
Yes.
Let me
That's
share
a
my
crazy
screen.
Dude, I'm telling you, I get good super chat comments on the show.
Down he goes, and down goes.
Where's the board?
C.D. Osmond.
You see it?
Hold on, keep looking. See it?
Yo,
See it?
what the fuck, dude? That's yellow fucking.
What the heck is going on?
Is
That man's bleeding
spinal
mountain.
fluid?
That is yellow. What is he peeing out of his head?
Oh my! Is that why when I take my pillowcases off they look like that? Because I have yellow head juice. That Tom Papa used to have a great joke about.
What if these NBA players are getting injected? You ever seen the movie
What do you mean,
Him?
what if? Yes. Well, no, I didn't. But
With
I gotta get
Jordan Peele's new
Jim
movie,
Jeffries
Him?
is in it. Yo,
It's about the what's that drug called from the gland they get from the children? Yeah.
Oh, do they get everything? It's not just fear.
Adrenochrome.
Juice.
It's about
That's just
adrenochrome.
one. There's probably not even a good one from what I'm told. There's dude. They got all kinds of shit they make out of it.
But the reason why I'm bringing up that movie is because it's about sports players being secretly injected with these e-core drugs.
Nate from Valhalla has trash Mexico takes. I believe you, but I still want to have Nate on, and I'm not gonna look. That guy's remarkably honest on his show. So before I assume the worst about anybody like that, like I appreciate what he said that I think is very honest. So I would like talking about it because a lot of my friends, dude, I got all kinds of friends that are in all kinds of shit like that. And like, you can't believe how much they don't know. Like, and the reason they don't know is because they're trained for their brain to never step outside of their lane. That's what the training's that. Why would you get basic training? So you're not being distracted by the big picture when I need you to kill. So you don't die too. I mean, it helps you to have the training before you go in combat, right? That's trauma-based mind control, dude. A traumatic situation is being in battle. So these people are trained. That's why you train a warrior to be a dedicated dog. That's why you have dog tags. Mark Passio talked about it. People didn't like Mark Passio, how angry he was, but I sympathize. I fucking love that dude because Mark Passio has been trying to tell this shit forever. He's not Christian saying it. So he's like an independent guy in a prison talking shit. I'll bet it's very frustrating for him. Did you know most of the superstars in sports are androids? Okay, but android can mean a lot of things. Wait, go back. I didn't finish reading. Sorry. Who put it back? It's all in their eyes, their skin, and their names. Remember God, Sham God? Okay. Are you sure it was not Shmagod and it was Sham God?
Shamash is the sun god.
But wait, what? Oh, are you saying Sham God like a joke on his name, or was his name Sham God? Like, or was it God Sham Wow?
Sham.
Okay, this is me not following sports. I'm missing a major data set, is what I'm learning. There's yellow ichor being spilled right and left on the court. Besides,
all right, now I'm starting to believe it.
Well, in Kathy O'Brien's book, and also J.R. Sweet, Senator Robert Byrd. If you can do the Holy Mountain movie on Bad Art Show, that's a good suggestion, dude. You suggested to Jenna. If I suggest it to her, she'll be like, "That's not really the kind of art I'm talking about." But I agree with you. We should do that on Bad Art Show, dude. But tell her it's hers, so she decides. Interview someone on trauma line form theory of behavior. Okay, well, let me know who, and I will. Was that all of them? God damn. Anyway, that Android thing, they said bioprogrammable human robotoids is what Kissinger was calling MK victims. So are they androids? You mean as in they pumped them full of weird shit and they started with a human being? Because the golem is a human being. The clay sculpture that the rabbi, they're talking about a human made from clay. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, these things are just human that somebody did something to. Really, if you look into the lore of it, that's all I know. All right, I gotta wrap this up, dude. Thanks for hanging out, man. You always got some fucking interesting things to tell me.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Gnostic Informants, the channel, I highly recommend it. Anything else you want to plug or?
Just my channel on YouTube. That's basically it. You can find me on Twitter as well. That's
Neil's. I watch all these channels, dude. Neil's a guy with integrity. I say I've always said so. So check him out.
Appreciate that.
All you just got derp. Thanks.